Hello everybody and welcome back to Typical City. Well, City fans, we all went a bit balmy this morning, didn't we? Considering one guy started a rumour that a private plane, is on its way from Leipzig to Manchester. Well, out of all the billions of people in the world, it has to be Gvardiol. It has to be Gvardiol. And you just knew at some point there was going to be a calamitous situation where some rich old lady climbs off that plane to greeted by 2,000 mental City fans go, City, 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 to some poor old lady who had no idea what was going on. It wasn't Gvardiol, but that was funny. That was a funny little watch. I've got to hand it to the City Extra lads spent most of the afternoon searching for Gvardiol with their magnifying glasses, Inspector Cluedo, making sure every T was crossed and every I was dotted in the documentation and the paperwork for nobody, absolutely nobody. In the end, it was quite funny. Got to admit that was a good watch. I did enjoy watching that. But now, real news, actual news. Jeremy Doku. Before that, there's other real news. I nearly crashed into Erling Haaland this morning. No word of a lie. I'm through Alderley Edge. I don't know if you know it. The A34, there's a roundabout that's about to become Wilmslow, and the other side is Alderley Edge. I was going across it onto the new part of the bypass, and I was going reasonable, not too fast or anything, but I'm going straight across it. And this big SUV Rolls Royce with the window down goes across me like that, and I'm about to go, you fucking one, you twat, beep, beep, beep. I was about to, and then I went, oh, it's Erling Haaland. Oh, no. Have at it, mate. Cut me up all you want. Get across me. Nearly kill me. No problem. But have at it, Erling Haaland. I mean, goals, no problem. Driving ability, non-existent. What was he doing? But anyway, nearly killed me. Nearly crashed into Erling Haaland, which would... I mean, to be honest, when I realised it's Erling Haaland, I wish I would have smashed into him. The insurance job, it would have been ridiculous, but... Autograph and picture, please. Thank you very much. But Erling Haaland, that's... next season's news. Now we're focusing on Jeremy Doku, a player that has been linked, thanks to Fabrizio Romano, as a replacement for Riyad Mahrez, and an additional player has been added to the list to Olise. Olise is still a target for City. Now, Jeremy Doku excites me. He excites me a lot. Numerous people have come to me and asked me the question, what do you think about St. Maximin, who's on his way to Saudi Arabia now? He's joined the Saudi League, so that's been and gone. But if there ever was a similar player, he's not like Mahrez, nowhere near. First of all, he's right-footed, and doesn't play like Mahrez at all. He's fast, dribbles, quick with it, he's speedy, so a very, very different player to Riyad Mahrez. But I spoke about the area of the pitch, and he is a right-sided winger who has a left foot. He is right-footed, but he's scored numerous goals with his left foot. I've seen him do that already, and right foot, left foot, which is good. We need that versatility. 21 years old, though. Box of tricks. A dribbling maestro, and I mean genuinely a dribbling maestro, to the point where I don't think he knows what he's about to do next. Certain level of unpredictability comes about him. Out of everyone so far, bar Rafinha, I think Rafinha is the one that we'd have to break the bank for. We'd have to spend a lot more money on. 28 million market value for Doku. So I think this is more sensible, future-proofing yourself, a player that could learn, spend years under Pep Guardiola. It's exciting. It's an exciting potential signing from Stade Rennes, the French club, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good potential replacement for Riyad Mahrez. Going into the list of Olise, if I had to pick, it's a tough one because Olise is proven in the Premier League. There's no guarantee with Doku coming over, the Belgian lad coming over to the Premier League. You do have that query. Anyone from abroad joining the Premier League, they always have that stipulation of, can they do it in the Premier League? The same was said about Erling Haaland. So... and Pep Guardiola, anyone. We do laud the Premier League and we put it on a pedestal above all else. And I think it is the best league in the world, but sometimes I think we go overboard with the ability to adapt to it. I do think we go overboard in how much it actually takes to adapt to a certain league. Because at the end of the day, we play football on a patch of grass that's very, very similar to the patches of grasses around the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's small tweaks that make a difference, but at the end of the day, we're all playing football. But last season, 35 appearances for Stade Rennes, 7 goals and 4 assists. So, not great. Minutes, though, he's got, I think, about 1,600 minutes, if I can remember rightly. So, we're not talking about a player that's you know, getting huge amounts of time. I think he was being slowly bedded in to Stade Rennais. Now, the fact that it's coming from Fabrizio Romano, again, I believe it's going to happen. I think there's, or at least maybe not going to happen, but at least there is some legitimacy to the claims that City are in for him. Same as Gvardiol. Same as Gvardiol. And I mean, yeah, that was a funny watch. I spent all day looking at an aeroplane. Aviation watching, it was fun. I couldn't spend the whole afternoon looking at it. I've got better things to do, unfortunately, because, you know, I didn't believe it was going to be Gvardiol from the minute I read it, to be honest. It was hard to get excited about one rumour that spreads on Twitter, and it was just a case of one guy had said, there's a plane from RB Leipzig and it's private, and it's from Leipzig and it's landing in Manchester. That could have been anybody, absolutely anybody. And we saw the amount of planes in the air. If you go on Flight Radar, you'll see them. You'll see them. So, yeah, good watch. I enjoyed watching the City Extra video. If you haven't watched it, I recommend going and watching it because it was a fun watch. Maybe watch the highlights of it because there was a big lull in the middle. But, yeah, no, it was good. It was good. And not Gvardiol. Clearly not Gvardiol. But yeah, we move on. We move on. I still think that's going to happen. I still think the Gvardiol deal is going to happen. Jeremy Doku, is that going to happen? Who would you pick for your potential replacement? So we've gone through Barcola, Cherki, who's not available anymore, Doku, Rafinha, Olise, I think there's a few others been thrown into the mix as a potential replacement for Riyad Mahrez. Now, wingers are easily obtained. I think there is an abundance of wingers out there in the market, young, fresh talent that's ready to showcase what they're all about. I think there's a lot of them, so I don't think the list will be a short list. The question is it good enough for City? And what is their potential? Are we signing potential, or are we signing the ready-made, finished article? Because that's what we did with Riyad Mahrez. If you want a like-for-like, I think we need to eradicate that like-for-like approach. I don't think it's going to be a like-for-like player. Look at the two most commonly linked players, or most realistically linked, from a credible source, i.e. Fabrizio Romano, is Olise and Jeremy Doku. Okay, so neither play like Riyad Mahrez. Neither. For me, if you want like-for-like, someone who's proven at the right age, about to peak in their career, is Rafinha. I think the Rafinha fits the Mahrez bill. Now, doesn't mean we will go for him, because I think the price we have to pay may be a little bit too steep. Whereas the 28 million market value for Jeremy Doku makes a little bit more sense to me. I'm watching him, though. It's just a box of tricks. I loved watching him play. The numerous compilations that I've seen of him now is just good. Very, very good. And left foot, right foot. He has this ability to just pop it past you. And the footwork is just incredible to watch. Saint Maximum, it's real vibes of Saint Maximum. So obviously, if you're familiar with him, I'm sure you are, then that's the type of player that we're signing. The only issue with Saint Maximum was always his end product. You didn't know whether he was going left or right. It was incredibly entertaining to watch. The sort of player that you'd bring on as an impact player, you know, when it's like difficult, it's just not working, the tactics aren't working, we just need something different, something to throw in. And I think Riyad Mahrez offered something different. Quite often he would come on and sometimes it would be a frantic match that needed slowing down, and Riyad Mahrez would do just that. He'd come onto the pitch and bring that level of composure, where Jeremy Doku, complete opposite. If the game's slow, the Atletico Madrid game, a friendly, I know it was a friendly, but that is an example of a game where we're just not creating enough chances. We need a spark, something different to come on and ignite the match. We need a lightning rod to strike down, do something completely different and shake up the atmosphere of the game. Jeremy Doku is the sort of player that would do that. Saint Maximum is the sort of player that would have done that in Newcastle when he was there. Now he's in the Saudi League. I think they've made a great addition to their league. Another player, which is concerning, but that's a different subject. But Jeremy Doku, Blues, are you happy with the links? Are you happy with the fact that we're still in for Olise? He's on the list. He's not, and instead of, he's an as well as. So are you happy about that? Out of the two, which sounds like they've been bumped up to positions 1 and 2, according to Fabrizio Romano, with Rafinha gone dead. Now, I've heard nothing about that since the first glimpse, and that didn't come from Fabrizio Romano. So now are we looking at Jeremy Doku and Olise? Out of the two, who would you go for? And do you think the Gvardiol situation's about to have a chuckle every time I think about him on a little plane? Just there, like, yeah, no. All those City fans that weren't there, obviously just like, oh, City, and then some little old lady comes off. I just pictured that. That would have been hilarious. But Blues, Olise, Doku, who are you picking? Who are you picking out of those two as a potential replacement to Riyad Mahrez? Get in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like and subscribe. Typical City is the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
This is Typical City now, holding up Silva.